Easy for me, Shane Duffy. This is it, saying it straight away. Best centre half in Scotland, there's no doubt about it. I don't see how there's any competition when it comes to this. He's came in from the Premier League, he's took what some would call a step down, he's coming in, he's absolutely bossing it. Aerial threat, scores goals, defensively solid. We talk about people's weaknesses in the side of Connor Goldson. There's only really one for me with Shane Duffy, there's no flaws, and that's perhaps his speed. But the calmness, the organisation that he's brought to the back line with the experience that he has, doesn't require him to use his speed a lot, because we've looked so much better. He's improved the people around him because of how good he is. He's an Ireland captain, potential Celtic captain. Scotland captain. Aye, this is a funny one. The comment section is going to be a right laugh. Before we go any further with the video, please make sure to press that subscribe button down below. It's absolutely free, it means the world to me, it'll grow the channel even quicker. We want to get bigger and better. I've got the new microphone ready, it'll be up for the next video I'm hoping, but with more subscribers, better equipment and stuff becomes possible, so please leave a subscription down below. So it was announced officially this morning that Shane Duffy will be heading back to his parent club Brighton. As of now, he is no longer a Celtic player. It's came and it's gone, and alongside it being one of the worst signings made in Celtic's history, and arguably the worst signing Celtic have ever made. It's all came full circle now, hasn't it? I've had my share of humble pie. I have been humiliated time and time again on social media, and I've owned up to that. I've kind of rose to that and met it with laughter, because I was proven absolute dafty. Shane Duffy joins a long list of footballers who have came up from down south, who we thought would automatically stroll into the league and be one of the best players. In fact, it was the exact opposite. He came to the league, he struggled, and now he goes down as one of the worst we've ever seen in a Celtic jersey. In an incredibly short statement, not much was said about the matter. Celtic have simply wished him his best and sent him packing down south. It seems there are WhatsApp rumours going around about how it's been done and why it's happened and why the loan has been cut short, but let's just forget all about that for a minute. We're here to talk about the whole transfer in general and Shane Duffy's time at Celtic. Now, I don't want to go in two-footed on poor Shane. He's had a very tough time with it, and I actually feel sorry for the guy, because he seems like a genuine gentleman, and it just didn't work out for him. A guy whose dream it was always to play for Celtic, it just went bitterly wrong, and it's even worse that he didn't even get the chance to play in front of a crowd either. The next step of that dream, never really got to accomplish it. But a really tough time with it. Of course, the passing of his father was a key part in his kind of mental health at Celtic, his time at Celtic. So it's not been easy for him. So I don't want to be too harsh, but if you're talking sheer footballing terms, this season there's not many more candidates for who's been the worst. It's madness how bad he actually was, and it's weird because the first couple of games he seemed so good. He fitted in well with the team. He even scored in his first two games as well, if you remember. We were all getting that buzz, and heading into that first derby of the season, we were sure that Shane Duffy was going to be this no-nonsense aerial threat centre half that we needed, defensively good and could chip in with the goals. We thought we'd solve the Julian injury problems, really. And no, it didn't work out like that. It just wasn't to be, and every week it seemed his confidence and his morale got worse and worse, and it was just a continuous flop every week, and things were getting laughable. You know, we've seen all the clips, we've seen all the photos of Shane Duffy hilariously bad defending, schoolboy errors, the fact it didn't have the kind of he didn't have the know-how, it seems, to do simple things and do the simple things right. It seemed like that it was always, it had to be difficult with him. He could never just pass the ball or clear the ball. It was always, let's make this comical, let's do it as bad as I possibly can. And that was the reason that we had to get him out of the team. And it's the reason that he stopped featuring. One of the main issues this season, way back at the start, was the continuous playing of Shane Duffy. We took far too long, we didn't, fans knew it, but I think Neil Lennon took far too long to realise that he had been nowhere near the starting 11, and he was one of the many guilty parts of that. You know, there was so many players that was the case with. But he had to be dropped earlier. And I'm not saying it would have saved our season, but it was hilariously bad, and it remained bad for the team. The money that we wasted on Shane Duffy was absolutely incredible. I think we kind of brushed over that because we thought that we never really spoke about it, because we thought he was going to be that good and we thought we were going to get our money's worth. But it was an astronomical figure of wages that we were paying Shane Duffy. I think we were talking £50,000-60,000 a week. We were paying millions of pounds for this loan deal. I think it was £3 million the figure was that we spent on one season with Shane Duffy, which never even made it to completion. And we've been laughed at the entire way, especially myself. As I said, I'll take that. It's funny. I look back at it, I laugh at my predictions, saying that we automatically had the best centre half in the league. It was arrogance. It absolutely was. And as I said, I've had my share of humble pie, but £3 million, when you think of this season in terms of just overall recruitment, that £3 million could have been so much, put to so much better use and made more important if invested elsewhere. I feel like Duffy might have been a bit of a rash signing when you look at it now, and obviously hindsight is a perfect thing. With 2020 hindsight, the world would be in a much better state than what it is right now. But, you know, we had the chance to sign the likes of a young Mark McKenzie for a similar fee, and we chose Shane Duffy. We made Shane Duffy our main choice, and yes, we were all buzzing about it at the time, but now you look at it, and it's one of those things that we'll always look back on as one of the key blunders of this disastrous season, because we spent so much money on someone who was so bad, and it's one that the rival fans love laughing at. Rightly so. He's had that many howlers, it did become a bit of a comedy act. And just think, if we got the likes of a younger player like Mark McKenzie, or even invested it elsewhere in the squad, any young centre half or any young player, if we spent that £3 million, we could have made money. We could have signed someone for a decent fee, developed them here at Celtic, which we didn't have the possibility to do with Shane Duffy, and we could have had a much better outcome at the end. It would have been a far better route for us in terms of making money and leaving us in a better position on and off the park. But as I said, hindsight is perfect. We can't live in a world with perfect hindsight. But it's one that, it's just funny to look back on. Like, I always said for years that I think Jack Hendry was the worst player I've ever seen playing a Celtic shirt. And of course I never got to see Shane Duffy in person, in the flesh, but from watching anyway, I think he actually took that crown, and I said that back in October, November time too, and I still stick to it. I don't think it was an overreaction, and I do feel bad, as I said. I don't want to pile on abuse to Shane Duffy or anything, but he knows himself. He'll be very disappointed with his time at Celtic, the fact that he didn't achieve his dream and it ended the way it did. But it was truly one of the worst I've seen play for Celtic, and it just happens. It happens in football. So now he goes back to Brighton. I think that he'll end up with a move to an English Championship side. I don't see how he would make it back into the Brighton squad. But watch him somehow get that Brighton squad and tear it up. Watch him be amazing going back to Brighton. I bet you a tenner, because we know how good he can be. That's the thing, and I don't know if it was just confidence this whole time, or it is just a severe lack of quality, but he showed it at Brighton. He showed it for the Republic of Ireland as well before joining Celtic, how good a centre half he is. So will he recover that? I hope he does. I really do. My thoughts and best wishes go as Shane. I just fucking knocked my phone off. My best wishes go with Shane as he leaves the club. I hope he does have a successful rest of his career. But in terms of what happened at Celtic, it was beyond a joke. In terms of what we learn from this, it's very important. The board especially need to know where they're investing their money, and they need to invest it in the right players. I think that it will give them that kind of, and of course every club's allowed a bad signing. I'm not saying just because we've had this one bad signing that everything has to change. That's not what I'm saying, of course. Well, I would suggest that because the recruitment has been that bad, it's not just Duffy, it's been a lot of bad players this season, but hopefully the fact that they have wasted so much money on what was meant to be a big star and one of the best players in the league, it makes them think twice before shelling out ridiculously high loan fees for something that might not work, and before we get that over the top arrogance again. It's a real blunder of a transfer, and it will always be remembered as that. So aye, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below as Shane Duffy departs from Celtic. Yeah, like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and thank you everybody for the wishes over on my Twitter as well regarding something I put up over there. Thank you, I do appreciate it, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.